$100 a day or $3,000 a month just for creating a token and letting it run. No trading, no staking, no watching charts. You set it up once, and every time someone buys or sells the token, you get Solana sent straight to your wallet automatically. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this works, how to create one yourself. I'm going to run you through the math why I believe you could be easily making over $3,000 a month by doing this. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you've ever bought a stock such as Apple, Coca-Cola, or whatever, you've probably heard of this little thing called dividends. The company takes a cut of their profits and they'll distribute it to shareholders. Well, reward tokens work in a similar way, but you're the one creating the company. You launch a token, set a small fee on every trade, and that fee will get split multiple different ways. A cut will go to you as the creator, a cut goes to token holders as a Solana dividend, and the final cut will actually be burned to reduce the token supply, making it deflationary. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds way too good to be true. Well, actually, it's not magic, it's simple smart contracts on Solana. No middleman, no promises, the code handles everything. Alright, this is RevShare.dev. This is the platform that makes all of this possible. Think of it as Shopify, but for dividend tokens. Obviously, being the platform doing this, they have their own revenue share token called Revs or RevShare, and you can see right here, they've distributed over 6,300 Solana to holders, which at the current price of Solana is going to be none other than around $576,000. Meaning at the all-time high, we're talking a little bit over $1.5 million. And they've pocketed themselves 3,150 Solana, which at the current price is around $288,000. And at the all-time high, that's $1 million. They've got guides and docs and tutorials, but honestly, it's so simple, and I'm going to show you how to do everything anyways. I'm going to walk you through every single step of creating a token on the platform, what to do, what not to do, why marketing matters, why most tokens fail, and how you can make sure that yours doesn't. Obviously, the platform is going to charge a small fee in order to create these tokens, but if you use the first link at the top of the description or the one in the pinned comment, you'll get 50% off those fees. Okay, let's do this. I have a wallet funded with a little bit of Solana, around 0.1 Sol, which right now is about $9. I'm going to go ahead and click on Create Token. And here you've got a couple options. You can see there is Solana Chain, Binance Smart Chain, ETH, Base, or Monad. In my opinion, the smart play right now is to launch on Solana Chain just because it's the one that has the most degens, the most daily trading volume, the most dApp revenue. It's the chain that's currently living. So I'm going to click on Solana Chain right here, and then we're prompted with a couple different options. Either launching a token with the bonding curve, or you can create your own liquidity. You can launch it on Pump Fund with your own bonding curve, or you can create with a bonding curve. That's a little bit different. That's a bit more complicated. In my opinion, the two best ways of doing this are bonding curve or create with liquidity. Liquidity will have a better success rate, but that means you're going to have to put a couple hundred, if not a couple $1,000 up front, whereas with the bonding curve, all you need is around 10 bucks of Solana. So for today's example, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to click on create with bonding curve, and that brings us to here. Okay, the first things we need to fill out are going to be a logo, a name, a symbol, a description, and I don't have those. So I'm going to navigate over to Canva, which is a website I use to design all my graphics. And since this is obviously a test token, I'm not going to promote this or run a project or whatever. I'm going to just call it demo, right? Like a demo of what we're doing today. We're going to go to text. We're going to be BAM. And you know what? Actually, I think it would be pretty fun to have like a little explosion right here, kind of as in demolition. We're going to make sure it is centered, share, download, and download. I'm going to come back to here and upload the image. Then simply enter a name and a ticker, a description. This is a demo token for a YouTube video. And here you can either choose to have a random generated contract, or you can click this little slider that says vanity, and then you can choose the last couple letters of the token contract. So we're going to go with demo, and click on find. That's going to take usually up to 1 minute because it's searching different ways of generating a token contract address that will have those 4 letters at the end. Okay, well, actually it found one with demo in the beginning, so that works. Now, our next part is going to be the rewards, essentially what people get rewarded with every couple minutes, every 15, 20, 30 minutes, every hour. We're going to set that in just a little bit, but essentially we want people to get rewarded in Solana. There's a couple different options right here. You can see the rewards, which distributes to all holder based on their balance. Otherwise, there's a jackpot. Top 10 random holders win tiered prizes. There's the lottery. 1 random winner takes all. More tokens equals more chances. There's power, which is up to 50 random winners split the prize equally. And then there's none if you don't want to distribute anything to holders and you want to keep everything for yourself. Now, I would recommend going with the rewards one. And then the dev fee, this one's pretty important. The percentage of fees that go to you. The rest go to token holders. After running a ton of math and looking at a bunch of tokens, I found that the highest you can usually go with this is 25%. Otherwise, people don't really want to get close to your token and it usually dies out pretty quick. So I'm going to go with 25%. Then what's called the fee tax. Essentially, the tax, the fee that's baked into the token that will happen on every buy and sell. I found that most tokens that are successful will have this set between 3 to 6%. So I'm going to go with 5 if that's an option somewhere. It is not. Okay, we'll just go with 6%. Our quote token, meaning the token is going to be paired against, is going to be Solana. We'll keep that as is. I'll do an initial buy of a tiny bit of Solana. And then you can see the fee, the dev fee going to a wallet right here. This is the wallet I connected earlier. And you can toggle this little slider if you want your token to appear on the RevShare homepage, which I strongly recommend. Since we went with the bonding curve, rewards won't start until the token actually bonds, meaning it reaches a certain market cap. There's enough buy pressure to push it up, and then the liquidity gets seeded and people will start getting rewards. It says that right here. Reward distribution will start after your bonding curve is active and begins generating trading fees from transaction. Here you can see the total cost to create the token, which is going to be 0.06 Solana plus our initial buy of 0.02. So I'm going to click that right here. That's going to open up my wallet and actually ask for that Solana. I'm going to go ahead and click on approve. Payment successful, transferred 0.08 Sol. Okay, and bam, that's it. Our token's now live on Meteora. It's trading on the bonding curve. It's going to give you your token address and a distributor wallet. This distributor wallet is simply the one that's going to collect the fees and sell it every time there's a distribution. So in order to distribute Solana to people, it takes the fee, but it takes it in demo tokens, right? So this distributor wallet will sell those demo tokens for Solana and then distribute it out to your holders. Couple more things here. There's going to be a token landing page. This is exactly what it'll look like with your contract address, total Solana distributed, total distributions, minimum required in order to get those distributions. In the tokenomics section, this hasn't populated yet because our token isn't bonded. And obviously there's a disclaimer at the bottom. Now we can also go to the token page. Our token's live. You can see it's trading. You can see the DB, which means dev buy. That's the 0.02 Sol I did earlier. And a lot more information, such as how much percentage goes to the creator, how much goes to holders. It has the yellow tick, which means the liquidity will be locked. And you can see from that little candle that people are already trading it. If I go to holders, you can see a couple different wallet holding various amounts right here, and that distributions happen every 10 minutes. In order for this token to actually launch and start distributing fees, it needs to reach 60 Solana in the bonding curve. Once your token's launched, obviously it'll have a DEX screener page, which will take just a second to load. That's it. You can see a couple of the buys rolling in and whatnot. And here you obviously got the option to manage your token, which is going to be the burn percentage, the dev wallet, multi-dev if you want to enable a split of the fees with someone else, token status, active or pause, the minimum token holding in order to get rewards. Then navigating to rewards, you can fine tune everything else, how the rewards work, the distribution model, and much more. Okay, we've got it. The token's live. Anyone can trade it. Once it reaches those 60 Solana in the bonding curve, the distribution starts. But how much can you actually earn as a creator of one of these tokens, and how's the way to do it properly? Well, first things first, everything is going to be based on the volume, the trading volume that your token generates. Because remember, there is a fee on every buy and every sell, meaning the more volume, the bigger the fee collected. Let's say there's $10,000 of volume at a 5% tax and the dev gets 20%. So a couple different numbers than what we just created, but essentially on $10,000 worth of trading volume, a 5% fee would mean $500. If the holders got 70% of the rewards, they'd be getting $350. If the dev got 20%, he'd be getting $100, and if we had a 10% burn in place, we'd be burning $50, essentially diminishing the supply and making it deflationary. But here's where it gets really interesting, because how much can your holders earn on a 5% tax, 70% going to holders, 20% to dev, and 10% token burn? At $10,000 of a daily volume, someone holding 1% of the supply will earn around $3.50 a day, or around $105 a month. That's not crazy, but when we get up to higher numbers, such as $500,000 of daily volume, someone's going to earn $175 a day or $5,250 every month. But that's just for holders. What about yourself? What about the person launching a token? Well, on a 5% tax, at a 20% dev share of that tax, your daily volume being $10,000, you're already making that $100 a day or $3,000 monthly. At $500,000 in daily volume, you're earning $5,000 a day or $150,000 a month. Now, obviously, volume is not guaranteed. Some tokens pop off and will reach millions and millions in daily volume, but 99% of the token launches will actually fail and get almost zero volume. If you think creating the token's the hardest part, that's not true. That's actually the easiest part. In order to make a token stand out, you'll need a couple things. First, maybe a website. Secondly, you'll need to update the deck screener page with an image, a banner, and the social media for that token. That costs around $300. You'll need a place for people holding a token for your community to actually live. So that could be a Twitter community, it could be a Discord server, it could be a Telegram chat. I'd also strongly recommend having a Telegram where people can't chat, but they can join. And every single distribution that happens, every like 10 minutes or whatever, there's an automated message that pops in there. Hey, we just distributed 0.3 Solana. That gives people something to see. Instead of wondering, when am I going to get distributions? When did the last one happen? They can join a Telegram channel where they see it happen in real time, which means they'll keep holding and they might even buy more. Talking about the social media presence of the token, Twitter is a non-negotiable. That's where like 90% of crypto people live. If the token doesn't have a Twitter account posting updates, distributions, holder milestones, and other content, you essentially get zero visibility, zero chance of generating any volume. Another thing that can kill a token is someone holding too much of the supply. In my opinion, if I see a token and then I see someone holding more than 4% of the supply, I'm not touching that because I'm scared that when I'll buy in, they'll sell all their tokens and dump on me. So before you go ahead and launch any token, ask yourself these couple questions. Is the token name and image that you're going to use a good idea? Do you have a website? Are you willing to pay $300 for deck screener? Do you have a Twitter, Telegram, or Discord set up for your community? And are you going to remain active on the token's socials? Because most people will go ahead and create the token and then stop. That's why most of these fail. But as you saw from the math, if you're motivated enough to build everything that needs to go around the actual token launch and sustain it in the long term, you could easily be making $100 a day, $3,000 a month. All it takes is $10,000 of daily volume, which is absolutely nothing. Now remember, if you use the links below, you'll get 50% cheaper costs using RevShare. And if you feel like you learned anything, I'd appreciate it if you click the like button or subscribe. But on that note, it was your boy Smokehelm. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch y'all in another one. Peace.